Wow. What else can you say? Wow, what a game in double overtime, 123-118. The Kings, they win their fifth straight. The third quarter was all Miami. The fourth quarter was all Sacramento. Both teams had a chance to win it at the line in the final seconds of the game in overtime, and then the Kings outlasted the Miami Heat in the second overtime. It was an absolute dandy of a game, was it not?
Amen. Coach Christie, give those men a day off tomorrow.
Yes.
They deserve it. Grant, you said this last night at halftime. I think this game was won by the starters getting to rest the fourth quarter last night because Tyler Hero gassed tonight. Jaime Jaquez gassed. Both played the fourth quarter all the way through, and the Kings targeted it and took advantage of it.
Yeah, I think you make a fabulous point. I think when you look back to last night and the fact that you didn't have to play your starters in the fourth quarter really helped out in this game. So now you're a game under 500, all right, and you got a road trip coming up, and you have kind of saved the season with this win streak. You've now gotten back into the picture, and that's the important thing.
I'm sorry, you said how many games under 500? Did I hear that right? One game. Incredible. First time.
Because I don't start talking about anything after game 82 if you're not 500.
Fair enough. First time they have been on a 5-game winning streak since November of 2023. How about that?
No, that's not that long ago. That's basically one season ago.
Oh, Grant, for this team and the way it went last year, it's a freaking decade. Feels like a decade.
The Kings won 46 games last year, Ryan.
Grant, I know, but it was up and down. It wasn't consistent. We can make the same argument this year.
I mean, because they're not going to win 46 this year. So, I mean, we got to look at that. They won 46 last year. You know, that's the thing about last season. They won a lot of games. All right. They won a lot of games and still didn't make the playoffs. This year, based on the way the standings look right now, 500 might get you into the show.
Yeah, absolutely. It speaks to the Western Conference. That's what Jerry Reynolds said. I swear, Jerry is a czar. He sends me a text message. Grant, he sends me a text message when Miami's on the run, and he's like, they've taken control. It's their pace. You've got to press now. And he lays this thing entirely out, and exactly what he said at halftime. Keegan comes out, gets involved, had some big plays. Holy crap, what a night.
I've been around a lot of people in my life, and I've never been around somebody that sees the game the way Jerry does and is able to put it in the layman terms to make you understand what he's trying to say. He's got a great ability to do that, but his knowledge of the game is unbelievable.
Second to absolutely nobody. Heck, what's going on? All 5 players made plays in the clutch.
Yep.
Team win. Can't deny that. Definitely was.
Team win. And you know what? Keegan Murray got going in the second half. Give him credit. He was awful in the first half. He showed up.
Yeah, and he made some huge plays defensively. That block shot. I mean, all 5 players, Grant, they were everywhere. And you look at one of the things that Doug Christie has taken away from this team that's helping down low. They're not setting up and trying to take charges anymore. If you notice that, they're staying a little bit more balanced where they can recover if a guy gets around them. And that happened plenty of times tonight with Bam Adebayo down under the paint where the Kings recovered.
Kings end up shooting 42% Kings end up shooting 41%. Their 3-point shooting did get better in the second half, which we thought it needed to. And they made some big shots when they had to. And now it all adds up to a 123-118 double overtime victory.
Yeah, if I'm Coach Christie, we're working on the zone offense all practice next practice. It was atrocious, but they worked through it. They got it done. Heck of a win. We want to hear from you guys. Dirk, you're batting leadoff. What's up tonight, Dirk?
Oh, boy. We got ourselves a dandy. Grant, you started it right exactly as I wanted to, calling this one a dandy. Man, what a great game. I thought that was Keon Ellis' best defensive performance he's ever had. What do you guys think?
It was great. It was great.
Not only that, Domantas Sabonis contained Bam Adebayo completely. I thought that was his best performance against him ever. So overall, I think zone offense, I agree. Zone offense seems to be DeMar DeRozan, which really works late in the game. But, oh, man, just for the emotions of this one, I couldn't believe they pulled this out. I hate playing Miami. It's like a playoff pace every time you play this team. And I'm just I am amazed we've got 2 wins out of them this season. That's just amazing to me. But
Yeah, both came down to really the last possession of the game. If you remember, Sabonis won the game on an offensive rebound in Miami with a fadeaway from 7 feet to win the game. And basically this game came down to the final. I mean, both teams had multiple chances to win this game. Multiple chances.
The clock management was so great at the end of regulation. The fact that Coach Christie had the guys get that shot up where you still had 3.2 seconds left on the clock. You get Hawkes to the line, misses the free throws. Maybe that was overtime, not the fourth.
That was overtime. Hero missed a little floater in the lane with 3 seconds left at the end of regulation.
There you go. Thanks for picking me up, partner. Yep. So Dirk, pretty good game. I know you watch a lot of them.
Yeah. Hey, I'll pass the mic to someone else. Light the beam. Good night, guys.
Good night. Thank you. Or good morning, depending on where you are.
This is true. This is true. Michael Guerrero, light the beam, buddy.
Light the beam. Kings won 13-19. Now look at this, 18-19. Would have saw that coming under Christie. They seem like the players look like they love playing for Doug Christie.
Yeah, they look like they have a lot of passion. There's no doubt about it.
It seems like the energy is different. I can see that, they play hard every minute. I think this is a game that Kings would have lost that before, but they refused to lose. They just won that game. This is out of effort. This game was
100%. Yes.
Pure effort.
Yeah.
I think this reminds me of the 06. I remember the 06 season. The Kings were 19-27, and then they overcame it, made it in the playoff, and it's an 8 seed. Remember that?
I do remember that, and there's a lot of basketball
for me.
Yeah,
it's a lot of basketball
left, But the encouraging thing here is they're picking up wins on their home court. They're 3 games.
I think so. You have to win on the home.
Games. Yeah, so you got to keep that roll trending that way as well. So hey,
we got to play against Boston. Next game is Boston.
Yeah, they got Boston coming up, and they then go to Chicago, at Milwaukee, home Houston, home Washington. But then the next road trip is daunting. All right, the road trip that begins at the end of this month, the last week of this month, at Denver, at the Knicks, at Brooklyn, at Philly, at Oklahoma City, at Minnesota.
That's brutal. That is a brutal one.
Yep. And now Brooklyn, you should win. Philly, if Embiid plays. If Embiid plays,
that's a toss-up.
That's you never know what you're going to get with Philly because you never know who's going to be on the floor. Oklahoma City speaks for itself. Minnesota, they're up and down, but I mean, you got to get to that point, and you got a big road trip coming up. 3 games with 2 really good teams and a Chicago team that you can't take Chicago lightly. They can beat you, and they can beat you. They got some good players.
Never take any team lightly. It's all about team basketball.
Amen.
You want to overcome slow starts. Do not take lightly.
Yep. Hey, Michael, thanks for the call tonight, brother.
Resiliency is key.
Hey, Grant, you might be a rich man. Look at that.
Indonesian dollars. That's like $1.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the Indonesian. I believe that's Indonesian dollars.
It is.
If I'm not mistaken, that would be very, very little money. But thank you.
Well, thank you. It looks good. It looks good. We appreciate anything. Goes back to the channel. Always greatly appreciated. Big night for the Kings tonight. 1 at a time, 5 in a row. Andy, what are your thoughts?
Wow, I just got to say, Keon Ellis with a defensive masterclass. I mean, he's just, it seems like every single play, he is just making that little bit of extra effort to either continue to play, to get a deflection, a steal, a block. I mean, especially late in the 4th, the overtime. I don't know if it was the 4th or the first overtime. There had been a miss, and Keon ran to the ball, kind of tapped it out of, I think, Tyler Hero's hands, threw it to Keegan in the corner. Keegan ties up the game, or it was something like that, I believe.
Yeah. Trey Lyles.
Yes, exactly. Just all those little hustle plays by Keon. Even at the second overtime there, he's, Jaime Jaquez is backing him down in the paint, and he's a lot bigger than him, and he blocks him. It's just I just can't really. The Kings definitely don't win this game without Keon Ellis.
No question. No
And
question about that.
not to
No
mention,
question.
that game was so crazy. My mind is kind of foggy about like the certain times, but I don't know if it was. I think it was the end of the fourth when we were starting to make our comeback. Keon got a stop. He hit a three. They got another stop. He hit another three after that.
Yep.
Just an amazing game by Keon. Also want to shout out Sabonis. Bam Adebayo is one of like the best centers in the league.
Yep.
Not only did he have a triple double, but he also was playing really, really good defense, just standing tall, keeping his hands up, having good contests, getting the rebound. I just wanted
Yep.
to ask, who's your guys' defensive player of the game, Sabonis or
Look,
Keon?
I've given it to Keon.
Yeah.
Ryan? I mean, it's a toy. Actually, I got to cut the ball in half, I think.
Yeah, 100%. When you have 18 rebounds,
Yeah, I got to cut the
against
ball in half.
Bam and
I know.
Bam on fresh legs. Bam's been a problem for Sabonis for so long, and
He's a problem for everybody.
he's a gold medalist. There's a reason he was on the Olympic team.
He's a perennial all-star.
Absolutely. So yeah, I think you're splitting this one up and giving a little bit of it to pretty much everybody on that starting five. Keegan made big plays. Everybody make big plays.
Everyone,
Thanks for the call.
Yeah. Thank you guys
very much. Thank you. Hey, I want to tell you, we're brought to you by New Works Plumbing of Sacramento. They've got a fix for you. SacServicePlumbing.com or NewWorksPlumbing.com, NEWWRXPlumbing.com. Call the number on your screen. They're available 24/7 for your plumbing needs and repairs. They are awesome. That's New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. And next time you're in the mood for a great meal, I've got a great restaurant for you. Bennett's, Sacramento, Roseville, the West Side Grill in Rockland. Prime seafood and steak. Don't forget about their daily happy hours, 2 to 6, their sips and taste. Great deals on share plates and wines. Don't forget about the weekend brunch either, boy. Saturday and Sunday, it's awesome. You go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com, make a reservation. That's Bennett'sRestaurants.com, prime seafood and steak at Bennett's.
Grant, fire up our direct line to Monty. Thank you, Raider Pando. Monty, please get a backup center ASAP. Sabonis, 50+ minutes. We'll let
I'm not. The minutes tonight don't mean anything to me,
right?
Because nobody knows the game's going to double overtime, right? So I don't pay attention to the minutes it played in an overtime game because no one knows that the game's going to overtime. You don't coach a game thinking, "Gee, we're going to play 10 extra minutes tonight."
Try pulling those guys out and see what they say. It ain't happening. It is not. Let's see, Umar, what's going on tonight?
Grand, Ryan, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go to sleep anytime soon after this. What a game. You guys, I don't know. I'm happy to get your guys' thoughts, but something's changed. And obviously, Doug Christie is the biggest change that has happened. But what do you guys think is going on? And it's hard to believe that a couple weeks ago, Keon Ellis was getting DNPs, and this game we don't pull out without him. So, something's changed with the team, the chemistry, the grit, and I'm here for it. And this is what we want to see. What a beautiful win.
Well, I think the ball movement's been a big improvement, although maybe not tonight as much. But I think the Miami defense has as much to do with that as anything. And really, during this win streak, I got to be honest. And again, maybe tonight is an exception from 3 over the course of the entire 58-minute game. But the Kings have been shooting the ball really, really well over this win streak.
Yeah, they've been shooting the ball well, and I would say I'm going to go the other side of the court. Defensively, when they're blitzing and doubling, they're doing it with guards as opposed to bringing a big out and leaving a guard back to try to steal the ball. Also, they're not trying to draw charges as much, which is making them a little bit more active with their hands and, not trying to get calls there. So simplicity. And Malik Monk actually said it pretty good after the game in San Francisco. Here's what Malik said, and this is an important part, Grant. You've been around an NBA team.
What DC doing? We all just bought into it right now, and we all feel good, and we're confident in what he's saying.
Are you able to articulate that at all, like what it is about maybe him or his messaging that just resonates with this guy, with this group?
He's a player. He played before, so I think he knows how to say it to us a little better than people that didn't play.
Communication.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go against what Malik Monk says, but I think that's really a cop out. I'll just leave it at that. I just there have been a lot of great coaches that have never played the game before,
right?
That have won championships, and their players buy into them. So, but I'm not in the locker room. He is. If that means a lot to him, then so be it.
Yeah, I'm thinking at the back end of it. He knows how to talk to us. I'm separating he played the game with he knows how to talk to us. It feels like it's an open conversation, a free-flowing conversation back and forth, rather than maybe a talking down. Because when you have a head coach, I talked to a source, a head coach that says somehow, some way at a press conference over and over again, you're basically saying what we have here isn't good enough. Somehow, some way, it's going to take a miracle to come make this work because my guys don't listen to me. That's a problem. And the source also said they're playing and not thinking as much. And that's
Which
a good thing.
Big factor. Big factor.
You know, and one thing I've heard repeatedly about Doug Christie for people that have worked with him, I think over his time in Sacramento as a player, through his broadcasting career and onwards, is that he seems like he connects well with people. And so I don't know if that's playing a role in this, and that's what Malik might be referencing as well. So there might be a component of that. And, you know, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but, you know, this far in, he deserves the credit. He deserves a good deal of credit for this change. And hey, if he can pull this off.
He does deserve a lot of credit. But let's also understand that there's a long way to go.
Right.
And let's also understand the assistant coaches' jobs changed to a degree too. So you don't know how much they have been involved as well. Jay Triano was drawing up offensive plays at the end of overtime. Luke Laux defensive plays at the end of overtime. So this is a true team effort.
That's a great point, Ryan.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. And like the B.
Hey, thank you for the call. We greatly appreciate it. You made some good points.
Very good. Love the calls. TK, hard to follow. What's up tonight? TK, going once, going twice. We'll try to come back to you. Guru from TNT Studios.
How you guys doing tonight?
How are you?
Good. Just want to give props to the Kings. The defense was amazing. I don't think it wasn't just Keon Ellis to me. I think Sabonis played actually really, really good D on all those switches and inside, and when they came, on the pick and rolls, everyone played good D. Good things happen, I guess, when Keon Ellis plays 49 minutes. I mean, it's crazy. It's a big difference than getting DNPs too. So that's a good sign to see. The defense was great. The thing that that was scary, DeMar in like the fourth quarter overtime. I didn't love the ISO and near the end of the games, and it was just so stagnant. I mean, I just didn't love it, but he came through in the second overtime and made his shots there. But I just don't like it when in the last couple of minutes they just get him the ball and it's just everyone's just staying around. That just needs to be a little bit worked on. But I think at least he came through in the second overtime. So I'm glad about that. And Keegan played well. He made his threes today. That was good to see, and he played really good defense as usual. But it was just good to see. I felt like in the last few games, last two games, he's just being a little bit more free when he's getting the ball and he's touching the ball a little bit more. I actually do think that kind of matters for him a lot for getting his shots in. It looks like that's what matters. Another funny point, I'm just looking at the standings that we have the sixth best net point differential, even though we're 11th in the West. Just something to look at. That's kind of interesting. We're maybe a little bit better than how our record shows. But it's a good win, 6 in a row.
5 in a row.
5 in a row. My fault. Is it 5? It's not 6?
5. Yeah,
it's 5. And then so hopefully the Kings keep it going. And we still have a tough schedule. I know we got Boston coming up and a lot of tough road games, but we'll see what happens. We're one game under 500. That's good to see. And I want to make a prediction right now. No matter what happens this season, whatever our record is, I think Doug Christie will be the coach next season.
Okay, well, I think that's very premature after a week, but we got you down. I'm writing it down for you.
Right here.
I'm writing it down on my tablet right now. But what you say on the date,
Hey, Zach.
I've got it down. Got you.
Zach, you want to put Bennett's on that, my man?
Sure. If we can do that, if you're down for it.
All right.
Bennett's, we're doing it. Bet number 2. Let's do this. A tradition now.
It's a tradition. Bennett's is on it. All right, buddy.
Thank you, buddy.
Talk to you later.
Take care, guys.
Appreciate it.
So Miami in the third quarter, Grant, they were starters. They were a plus 48. In the fourth quarter, they were a negative 47. Talk about a swing of momentum here in this one. It's a big statistic. A plus 48 in the third quarter and a negative 47 in the fourth quarter. Drew, what's going on tonight?
Hey, what's going on, guys? You guys hear me?
We got you.
Awesome, man. I just wanted to touch on a couple points I had. I was really impressed with the offense tonight. I feel like DeMar really tied it together and showed that, we can get the job done without De'Aaron Fox. The defense showed up. Ellis played great. It was funny. I was looking at my TV and I was screaming, Grant, who wants to fuck my ass? And then after that,
so funny, brother.
I'm looking at the schedule. Boston plays at Denver tomorrow.
Yep.
All right. They're at Denver tomorrow. Then they'll have the day off, and the Kings start this road trip against the Celtics team that is, I don't think they're as good as last year, but when you look at their starting five, and we'll see if Fox plays, that's going to be, of this entire stretch here, this will be the real measuring stick game, assuming that Boston doesn't have any injuries tomorrow against Denver, because right now they're healthy. This will be the first time, assuming that the Kings have Fox, that your health goes up against another team that is a legitimate, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, championship type caliber team that's got their full roster. This will be a real measuring stick game coming up in Boston. Agree?
It's an excellent point. I completely agree with you. And if you look at the Boston and Milwaukee games, I think you probably, the way this team's playing and the way that Boston likes to live off the 350 plus a game attempts, Boston might be your better shot out of those two games, even though the Kings have played Milwaukee pretty well the last couple of years.
And why do you say that?
I say that because of the way the Kings are playing with pace and turning teams over right now. They're defending really well on the perimeter, and I think you can push Boston out a little bit. A little bit. Drew Holiday is obviously the wild card there. He can eat you alive with the pick and rolls. Obviously, Jason Tatum as well. But I think the stylistic measure-ups, those measure well for the Kings versus Boston rather than Milwaukee.
I want to tell you about Sunrise Landing, Calusa's newest residential community. All you need to do is go to calusasunrise.com and you can check out everything from Blazona Development at beautiful Sunrise Landing. Check out these models, and remember, there's no Melrose, there's no homeowners, across from the Calusa Golf and Country Club, so it's a great area, and you have good access to the major arteries like I-5 and Highway 20 and Highway 45. Check out Sunrise Landing by going to calusasunrise.com. That is calusasunrise.com. You get all the information you need on Sunrise Landing. Double overtime victory tonight, and now Sacramento is a game under 500 with the Boston Celtics coming up next.
Big one indeed. All right, we've got a few phone calls left. We got to get out at 10:30 tonight. So let's roll through these phone calls. Make your points quick. We'll get in and out because we want to get everybody in. GP, what's going on tonight?
Hey, how you guys doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, last time we talked, Devin Carter hadn't played. And so judging from the couple games that he did get to play, I really like the kid. And I just, last time I called, I made the point that, hey, Doug Christie does deserve more credit, and we can see that now with a few more games under our belt. I'd love to see these guys pick up anybody like, I'd love to see what you guys think on somebody like Jahlil Okafor, who is a good player in the league, but unfortunately, I think he's in the G League. Somebody like that can stretch the floor for us a little bit more. As a four, and give DeMontis some help. But Other than that, I love the win. I love Keon Ellis. I think it starts on the defensive end for these guys. They want to run, so you got to play some defense. And other than that, I think Doug Christie is doing a great job. And last point was, have you guys heard anything about Fox? I hadn't heard anything about him and when he will be back.
Okay, well, and we're going to let you go because we don't. Your audio is a little bit low, but we really appreciate you calling. I don't know what Fox's availability is for the game in Boston. I don't think it's been determined yet. Has it?
No, I'm hearing it's really pain management. And, I think getting him this break now in between, you don't play again until the 10th. That's a pretty decent break. That's almost a week off from when Fox will have last played, Grant.
Okay, well, that would be good. That's for sure, because you got a road trip coming up at Boston, at Chicago, at Milwaukee. You better pack your winter gear for this trip, especially with the temperatures the way they are. I just looked at the weather. I'm like, yeah, you don't want to be going outside very much on this road trip. I can tell you that.
Yeah, probably not. Jeff, Texas, what's going on?
Hey, guys, can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Yeah, what I liked about tonight's game was, compared to last night's game, was the flow was different. And usually in a game like this, historically, this physical of a game, there's a lot of frustration, complaining to the refs about no calls, but they almost just rolled their sleeves up to their freaking necks and they got the job done. And it was a pleasure to watch and listen to. Well, not listen to, I should say, but a pleasure to watch. And thanks for everything you guys do. I'm out.
Thank you. We appreciate you being on with us.
Thank you. There is something to what Jeff said, Grant. The fact that this team didn't sit back and settle for threes when they were being denied at the rim, when they weren't getting calls, they kept attacking. This team wouldn't have done that 20 games ago.
I agree with you. I don't think they would have.
Yeah.
No question. Now let's see if they can take this on the road against two really legitimate teams in Boston and Milwaukee.
Yeah, and Chicago, they've been scoring a lot of points here and there. They just beat New York as well not too long ago. Baki, what's up?
Hey, good morning from Europe, Serbia. I'm not in my usual position, so only audio from me this time. I'm gonna do it all the way like Mr. Grant earlier tonight.
Go ahead, buddy.
What to say? These guys made my Christmas, guys. So I want to thank dear God I witnessed the game like this one. And I hope a lot of it more. So, number one, Keon. Head down to the man. This is how you fight for your friends, for teammates, and for your club. That's all we can discuss a lot about him. And number two, a lot of positive things, but we don't have time for it. And number three, only one negative, attacking the zone. It cost us the game against Denver, one game against Lakers, and tonight a lot of problems when they switch to the zone, 2 and 3 zone or 3 and 2 zone, whichever. The Kings should be very, very careful about this tactical issue. That's my point about the game.
Yeah, 100% agree with you, Baki, about the zone. There's no doubt about it. When they got the ball to the middle, usually they had a better chance of breaking it down, but then there was also times that they tried to make that extra pass. And when you're playing against the zone defense and you get it to the middle and you got a clean look, you got to score that ball or get it to the short corner.
They played they played great basketball last 4 or 5 games when it comes to moving the ball from side to side. And now when you're attacking the zone, the only thing you need to do is exactly the same. Just speed up the game and crash that zone from the middle. But sometimes it happens 2 or 3 times in a row. They put Malik or another player, maybe DeRozan, trying to penetrate inside. So defense have a light possession for that kind of attacking the zone. So that's not the point. You're attacking the zone. Maybe later Malik figured out how to attack and score a few baskets. Then they switched to a man-to-man again. So we got him at the end. So great fight. If they continue to fight like this in every game, shine, shine, shine.
This was an old school. Thanks, Baki, for the call, by the way. This was an old school drag them out slugfest. How many of these games did you call back in the 90s, back in the early 2000s?
Every night. It was a slugfest. Hey, I want to tell you, Grant's Rant is brought to you by EDH Motors, Automotive Reimagined. Just go to edhmotors.com. You get all the information. David and Adam, just two guys trying to do something different and better. You don't go to a dealership. You'll take delivery at the Auto Lounge in El Dorado Hills Town Center. And when you go to edhmotors.com and look at everything they have to offer, just keep in mind that if you don't see what you're looking for, no problem. EDH Motors will get it for you. They have decades of experience in the automotive industry. So just go to edhmotors.com. You'll get all the information you need. Get in touch with David and Adam. Just a long overdue concept. They're awesome. EDH Motors, Automotive Reimagined. Check them out again at edhmotors.com. And we appreciate them sponsoring us here this winter season. All right. So the Kings have just won 2 games without De'Aaron Fox. And the debate will rage. Are the Kings better without De'Aaron Fox? No. Should they trade De'Aaron Fox? We think so. Would the Kings be better off with a different look? What happens when Fox comes back? If he comes back against Boston, how will Doug use him in terms of minutes? I mean, you can only have 5 guys on the floor. Do you really want to take Keon Ellis off the floor right now? You can't take Monk off the floor, right? So you also have a rookie who you're trying to get into the flow of things in Carter. This is going to be very interesting here on this road trip. If Fox is available against Boston and then Chicago and Milwaukee, what will the minutes look like? What will the rotation look like? Will it be a game of feel? In other words, if you're playing well, I'm going to keep playing you. If you're not doing it, you're coming out because I've got other guys now that I can put in to get the job done. But it is going to be very challenging with Fox coming back. And again, if he comes back, how the minutes are divvied up. So far, so good. But the one thing that the Kings have showed the last 2 games, unlike last year and unlike the year before, is that when Fox is not available, they can win. That was not the case last year. When Fox didn't play, it was like, uh-oh, we're screwed because they didn't have an answer. They have an answer now, right? Fox and the rotation, keep your eye on it because that is going to be key. And that's my rant for tonight.
You know, Napes, you and Doug lived through that. You tell the story all the time with Chris Webber, integrating him back into the lineup.
Yep. And it absolutely, now the Chris was different in the sense that he didn't play the entire season until March 2nd or 3rd. So De'Aaron's only missed 2 games.
True. But arguably, this is the best team basketball this team has played all season in these 2 games, despite the opponent.
Yes. Well, what do you think about what I just said with the minutes?
I think you bring up a great point. There's a lot to think on there. It's a lot to chew on, too much to respond to at the moment.
I think it's a good problem to have.
Certainly.
I think it's a good problem to have.
Well,
that part I do think.
From the defense has been so important for this team creating offense. Even they did it tonight to a degree against a Miami team that usually takes that away. And what you said about getting Carter in there, he's a part of that now. Keon Ellis, that's the big albatross. What the hell do you do with that starting lineup?
Going to be interesting. Big win. The win streak is alive at 5. Thank you very much. Late night. We appreciate each and every one of you. And don't forget the Kings Court tomorrow, 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. We'll be right here breaking this whole thing down and talking about it more.
And don't forget Wednesday, Sean Salisbury to talk about the NFL playoffs and the college football playoffs. And then we'll have the Kings Roundtable at 4 with Jerry and Ryno. To everyone else, thank you very much. Make it a good night. Get some sleep. You need it, right? You're exhausted. We're all exhausted after watching that. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye now.